Robots Radio presents...
Rated M for mature.
I cracked my neck there on those head motions. It felt so good. I was like, oh
man.
Yeah.
I wish.
Says the girl watching chiropractor videos.
There's a... it looks so good.
Welcome, everybody, to the Download Weekly Gaming News. We are your glorious hosts. I am Jameson.
And I am Brenna.
And we are back with another fantastic episode for you all. Just as a reminder, we're kind of experimenting with our episode contents again, so things are constantly shifting and changing, but nevertheless, it is the same great content you've come to know and expect. Another reminder, website is up, so you can go on there, find info about all the stories we covered today. And we are sponsored by several amazing people, Loot Crate, Gamefly, Green Man Gaming, and NordVPN. This week, we're going to highlight Green Man Gaming. It's a great website where you can buy video games that you already buy elsewhere. But the bonus part is you can help us out when you purchase them. You still buy them basically for the same price, if not cheaper. They have it for multiple systems, and we just get like 2% of the sale. Wonderful. Wonderful. So if you're looking to get some new games, there's some great ones coming out. Star Wars Squadrons just came out. We'll be talking a lot about that. But, Assassin's Creed's coming up. Cyberpunk's coming up. Good time to buy some video games. That's all I'll be saying. What are you doing? You playing with that thing?
No, I've got like menthol snake venom that I'm just so casually rubbing on my back. I had to really... Yeah, I was I was just gonna say on myself, and I was like, that needs to not be the words I pick.
Oh goodness. More announcements and news at the end of the episode. So the big thing this week is we're talking Star Wars Squadrons. It's the latest Star Wars game from EA and Motive Montreal. It is as the name suggests, it's a dogfighting game. You take to the galaxy in some of your favorite and most iconic Star Wars ships, battling it out for the New Republic or for the Fallen, or the Fallen Empire at this point, and just trying to regain control of the galaxy. You can play in a wonderful single-player campaign, or you can dive into some intense multiplayer. I've gotten a chance to play a considerable amount of the story as well as some multiplayer. Brenna even got to watch me play a bunch of the multiplayer. And I've got to say, it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It's a really good game for what it is.
I mean, $30, it
40,
looks great. Oh, 40? Yeah, it looks great. I mean, because Jamie was playing with the HUD off, so no UI, just whatever is in the cockpit, and it looked really pretty. And Patrick, Captain Longschlong, was also playing, but he was using the VR, and apparently it looks great in VR as well, but he got nauseous, and I figured you would probably get a little bit of motion sickness wearing the VR for that long, because you really are doing barrel rolls to get away from people or to dodge photons. So
I've played some other similar games on PlayStation VR. When that first came out, they had an Eve kind of fighter simulator, and I got a chance to play that. And it definitely messes with you a little bit when you're doing all those moves. Like, it takes a second to kind of reacclimate, but it's apparently a great VR game. They're working on some more stability issues to improve the VR interface on PC, because it's having a little bit of trouble, but overall it's running really well. And then on top of that, it looks like they're having a little bit of here and there, again, a little bit of stability issues with FPS and things like that. I haven't really encountered any issues, so it's doing well.
It might just be a lower end PCs, because they tested it on some Intel 7s and it was doing just fine, but reducing to 30 FPS is still playable. That's not bad, you know? I mean, anything below 30 FPS, you're going to start to get some really bad screen chops. So, I mean, yeah, maybe it's going to need an update here or there to kind of optimize everything and stabilize it. But I mean, eh,
I mean, for a launch, it's pretty dang smooth. Um, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about the game itself. So, Star Wars Squadrons is available on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. EA/Motive. It is $40. If you are in Britain and the EU, I think it's £30 and €30, and then in Australia, it's 60 Australian dollars. Um, and it's gotten great reviews. Don't let those Steam reviews fool you. People are just, I don't know what people are doing on the Steam reviews, to be honest. I've had Patrick send me actually quite a few reviews about it saying like, great game, had a lot of fun, negative review. Like, I think
yeah.
people, I think it's just because it's EA, people are bombing it, but it's receiving 8 out of 10s, 4 out of 5s, 8.3, even a 9 here and there. So it's definitely, people are really happy with the quality of the game, and it's the Star Wars fighter experience we wanted. If you are a long time Star Wars player, it will bring back it will remind you a lot of the old school Rogue Squadron game, which is kind of what this is channeling. So the game has a single player campaign. Highly recommend you dive into that first and play all the way through that before going to the multiplayer, because it will teach you a lot about how the multiplayer will work, and it will just give you a chance to really practice and refine your fighter pilot skills before then. So in the single player campaign, you get to create your own custom pilot, which is actually a pretty decent basic customization system. And then you take to the skies as either part of Vanguard Squadron for the New Republic or Titan Squadron for the Empire. As you can tell, I'm a fan of the Empire. And during the game, you get to choose to fly. There's 4 available ships for you for the New Republic. There's the X-Wing, the A-Wing, the Y-Wing, and the U-Wing, all fulfilling different roles. The X-Wing's kind of your all-around ship. Y-Wing's your bomber. A-Wing is your interceptor. U-Wing is your support ship. And then for the Empire, you can take to the skies in the TIE Fighter, your all-around ship. The TIE Interceptor, your interceptor. The TIE Bomber, your bomber. And the TIE Reaper, your support ship. And I don't want to say too much about the story to give it away, but it is definitely reminds me a lot of Rogue Squadron. Kind of the missions tend to begin with these briefings. You're kind of gathered around a little hologram table, and they're showing you images of the battlefield or your targets. They're kind of walking you through. You get a chance to even talk to some of the fellow members in your squadron. The New Republic Squadron is definitely a vibrant group of characters, with a guy like Frisk, who is a Transdoshan. And for those of you who don't know what that is, he's a lizard man. So he does like a lot of like that kind of thing when he talks. Like he does like a lot of, it's just what they do. And so, and then Titan Squadron is, your hardcore of the hardest core of the Empire. They're diehard true believers, and it's again, I haven't finished the campaign yet, but it's really good, and I don't want to give too much of it away. But it's all kind of following the events of the Battle of Endor, and you get to even see some characters from the series show up. Admiral Akbar makes an appearance in there. Wedge Antilles' voice is up, so it's some good fun. And then you can dive into the multiplayer. They have just straight up dogfights, and then they have fleet battles where 2 massive capital ships from the New Republic and the Empire kind of battle it out. Brenna got a chance to watch me play quite a bit of that. So it gets, the one thing I will say is diving right into that, it's just chaos. There is, sounds all over the place. You can't hear anything. There's so much just happening outside of your cockpit, ships whirling around. You're just constantly getting attacked. it's just a lot of chaos. So that's kind of why I recommend playing through the single player. It gives you a better grasp on the game before you get into the chaos of that. But it flies really well. It's smooth. Brenna's over here like, when are we going to be done? I have nothing to say.
You never asked me what I had to say, sir.
Okay, Brenna, what do you have to say?
I have to say that the actual playing field looks pretty great. I went in there and saw Jamie playing, and I made a snide comment. It actually ended up being kind of funny. He was kept getting smashed in this one area. I'm all, hey Jamie, you want to hide behind that rock? Use that as cover. It's like, oh yeah, I should probably do that, huh?
I was oddly enough not using any of the debris and stuff floating around for cover. I was just going full blast, just right
Jeremy
through the middle of the
Clarkson.
battlefield. Speed.
Yeah. But no,
Uh,
it's pretty cool. I like the way that they make the map look expansive, but if you get too far outside of a zone, there's like fog, almost like a layer of ice mist that
so, yeah, so that like one map it's like inside of like a weird like space anomaly thing. So yeah, that's like it's like some weird space storm. It's I'm trying to think of what movie they showed it in. I want to say it was in Solo. But most of the other maps are just like it's just open space. So you get too far away, they're like, turn the F around, bitch.
yeah,
But
start taking some damage. Look at you cussing.
I know. That was not very long before that happened.
No, not at all.
But yeah, it looks great. It sounds great. It's very pretty. The graphics. People are saying the graphics are bad. I don't see it. I think the graphics are phenomenal.
And I wasn't even observing the game on my own computer. It was Jamie streaming it through Discord. So I couldn't even, and I thought it looked great. So I didn't even get the natural graphics of it, and I thought it looked just fine from, streaming it through that.
Yeah. And so, again, the reviews have gotten pretty great. Before we kind of move along here to the rest of our stuff, we've got some tips and tricks for you guys that are taking to these skies. So again, I already mentioned, play the single player campaign. I've also kind of mentioned, use things for cover. It's real easy for enemies to lock missiles onto you, to get, take fire from the capital ships. So, use cover, keep moving. Don't try not to stay too much in the open, and try not to overextend yourself. There was many times where I would just go right in there all the way and just get instantly blown up by the capital ships. And then another thing to keep an eye on is your ship subsystem. So if you're on the New Republic, you've got to keep an eye on your shields, your speed, and your lasers. Whereas the Empire is just your speed and your lasers. So definitely keep an eye on those and make sure you're managing them properly, cycling between them when necessary. Like if you're going for the capital ships, put everything into your shields because those lasers will take you down real fast. Use the speed to kind of get around, boost those lasers if you're needing to do an extra bit of damage. And then, don't get too far away from your squad, especially from your U-Wing or your Reaper, as those can help you repair and refill your weapons. And always, always, always have a repair droid. That repair droid has saved my skin more times than I can count, just being able to hit that and, make some tweaks and boost my health when you get down. So that's super, super important. Also, you can kind of call out targets and have your squad help you out or take revenge for you. So always be sure you're picking your targets, locking on to other ships. Don't just be flying around willy-nilly. And, it's an objective-based game. Don't be just going for the fighters. Someone needs to be attacking the capital ships or the corvettes because they will also be doing a lot of damage and they can help kind of turn the tide. That's...
I think my favorite death of yours is player error or pilot error. Just all of a sudden, and it was funny because Patrick didn't even realize it. All of a sudden, Jamie we don't know what happened. Just this apparently came out of nowhere. Giant hunk of metal he just exploded right into. And Patrick was like, "Was that you?"
I was flying away and I was going to turn around, so I was doing an inverted U-turn. And yes, as I was coming out of my U-turn, I was met with a large metal object, and it won. So, yeah. But bottom line, it's a lot of fun. Definitely worth your time. Definitely worth the money. And that's all. Like, review scores are just, they're pretty partisan. But in my opinion, for a $40 game, this is totally worth it. There's no microtransactions. It's all skill based. It's all just experience that helps ish, and it all unlocks you the in-game equipment. So it is worth the money. And if you were a Star Wars fan, it is doubly worth the money. But that's kind of it for the big topic for us today. I mean, that was 15 minutes. That's pretty damn good, I'd say. Yeah.
Of you
Just some
rambling.
light rambling. So we don't have a guest this week either. We got a couple guests we're lining up for future episodes. So we're just kind of coordinating with them. Time zones are a thing, which really messes things up. But so we've got 2 AMA questions. First question from Durka is, are you the imposter, Brenna? Brenna's
I will
super
never
sus.
tell. You will never know.
Very sus. I've said it multiple. Whoa.
I might be crawling through your vents.
Whoa. You better be cleaning them out while you're in there.
It's going to make a very inappropriate joke.
Save that one for later.
I'll save that one for hours.
Save that one for after hours. Wink, wink. And then another one from you. When was the last time you two did something that you never tell your parents about? Oh boy. Like on a nightly basis?
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I'm not as bad as you. My mother doesn't really. She's not very strict in ways, but I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one.
Often is the answer for that for both of us. Often. And there's just some things just people just don't need to know. It's simple as that.
A lot of things. Yeah.
A lot of things. But we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole.
That secret chest underneath your bed,
I have no
Jameson.
idea what you're talking about.
I know, I'm just trying to mess with you.
How do you know about my chest?
Starting to sweat
do we
in
need
here.
to talk about your secret stuff? I don't think so. So let's move on. All right.
It's gonna start a war. He's sus. You're sus.
I'm not the imposter. And then I don't know what have we been up to lately, in and out of gaming, just to share with the peoples.
There isn't much to do in Vegas when it's this hot. So unfortunately, it is just me redecorating my
COVID
apartment,
doesn't help anything
I guess.
either, too.
Yeah, that also doesn't help. I've been watching Brazilian Isles again, which I love that show so much. So good. And Cowboy Bebop. I've been making my way through that.
Without
I told you I was gonna wait for you so we can watch Gundam.
That's right. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
We still haven't finished Altered Carbon yet, and we need to finish
Oh my god.
Angel Beats. We're so close on both those. We have to just pick out a night and just finish shows.
Like we should have last night.
Last night would have been a good. We had fun playing games though.
Yeah, that was true.
I don't even remember what games we played.
Lots of Magic.
Oh, that's
Magic.
right.
We only played Magic.
That's right. That's what we played.
Were you lost in the sauce, sir?
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. One too many sips of the Kool-Aid, if you know what I'm saying.
Subtlety is not his key.
Yeah. So what else? What I've been up to? I mean, it's a lot of school, a lot of work, and then some games here and there. But yeah, there's not too much you can do right now with COVID, even though things are slowly starting to open back up around both of us. there's still just not too much to do, and it's actually been like hot. Like, it's been over 100 for you. It's been in the high 90s for us, so it's not a great time to go outside, but is what it is. We've been playing a lot of Siege though, a lot of Rainbow Six Siege.
Siege is, I like it a lot. I don't know what happened last weekend that we played, or was it this weekend? Must have been some sort of free weekend, because I swear to you, it was all Call of Duty type players.
It was Friday night. Yeah, Friday night it was really bad. I had
And people were just like sprint running, no checking any of the corners. Just as soon as the game started, the defenders were busting down doors and just running outside. I was so confused.
It was no fun. It was a mess, an actual mess. But I've also been playing. Brenna obviously plays a lot of Minecraft.
Stupid amount. I think a stupid amount. Someone needs to take it away from me.
I haven't even introduced you to mods yet either, and we haven't even played together. Like,
I don't want to play with you. We already figured out that we would not mesh together. Actually, it'd probably be quite comical if it was like a sci-fi type thing.
Are you kidding me? We'd mesh together so well on Minecraft.
You just run everywhere and don't check anything.
Because I kill everything if it shows up.
Ridiculous.
We just need to give you some confidence. Minecraft Steve needs some confidence.
You know what our dynamic would be, like Hellboy and the amphibian?
Yes, you would be the amphibian and I would be Hellboy 100%.
Yes, exactly.
It's a good analogy.
I know. We might have to do a cosplay now. Oh no. I'm trying to think of like what weird alien amphibians, obvious because it's cosplay. Chicks always have to be sexy, so that would be an interesting.
You don't have to be sexy. You can be practical, utilitarian, but you can still look good while practical and utilitarian. It doesn't have to be like, like
alien titties.
Yes, exactly. Oh, it's warm. Unrelated remark. It's actually quite warm in my room.
As soon as I said alien titties, he thought about that trunk underneath his chest, underneath his bed. What you got in there, Jameson?
Alien titties. And then I've actually been playing a lot of Genshin Impact this week, and that's been a lot of fun. It's like a mobile game MMO / like Breath of the Wild style game. And I've been having a blast playing that. It's super simple, super fun. Like the combat is really great. Highly recommend looking it up. It's actually incredibly popular right now. Like millions and millions of downloads and players, but it's getting like no coverage, which is surprising. It's trending on like YouTube and social media. Everybody's playing it, but no one's talking about it. So definitely.
I dropped my menthol.
Okay, you just kind of shot up. But yeah, so we'll kind of move on. So news you might have missed. This is going to be a shorter episode than I thought. Maybe we'll see. I always say that, and then honestly, it never is.
It's not going to be because I'll talk right now.
All right. So Apple and Epic had a preliminary hearing in front of a judge this past week, and they both kind of made some arguments, and the judge decided that a jury needs to weigh in during a trial next year. Why a jury is necessary for this, I have no idea, because the judge already seems to have a pretty solid grasp on the case and has even made several remarks and at one point saying that Epic was that Epic brought this upon themselves. What was was not being honest when it bypassed the system. So the judge is definitely here's the quote. You did something, you lied about it by omission, by not being forthcoming. That's the security issue. There are a lot of people in the public who consider you guys heroes for what you did, but it's still not honest. So the judge was not persuaded by Epic's argument that forcing developers to use Apple's in-app payment system is illegal, or tying any form of bundling because it requires players to purchase something else. So it's definitely the judge is definitely not buying it, and it doesn't. Epic doesn't isn't really selling their case as being the Robin Hood when they are making billions of dollars off of this, even with their cut. Like,
this judge might just be covering some bases. Maybe they think that by having a jury, they can take some of the responsibility off of themselves. And I don't know the reasoning for having this jury, but it's not like these people will know any more than the judge will on legal terms. So it's dumb. But it's gonna happen.
I think it's also going to be one of those cases that people will point to, like it will be a landmark case because it is kind of a first of its kind case. So I think having the jury there again can kind of just solidify that in case people try to appeal it or reference it, rather than it just being overturning a judge's ruling. They would be overturning a jury's ruling. So
Right.
I'd be curious to see where the jury leads. But how do you get a unbiased jury for that? Like, do you have an iPhone? Do you use Apple products?
Right?
Nope, you're
Who
off
would-
the jury. Like, yes, you're off the jury. Like, I don't know how that's going to work.
I don't know either. And this is not that juries don't deal with complex law, but this is like a business legality terms sort of thing. So it's not like who murdered someone. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing to be a jury on.
It is a little unusual. I'd love to get jury duty for that, though. That would be fun.
You're
Can I
such a
volunteer?
I volunteer as tribute just so you can walk up and to Tim Sweeney and be like, "You suck."
I will say I judge, I swear I'll be unbiased. And then the moment we go to it, it's like, all right, Epic did it. Epic is the suspect. Eject him.
Sus.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on what will happen. But now that they've kind of set a trial date, there'll probably not be much happening on that over the next year. But until that time, there's no Fortnite on iPhone.
Oh no.
So that's a long time. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe Apple will be nice and let it come back, but I doubt that if they're still violating the rules. Additionally, Apple TV is now coming to the Xbox in their like store / apps on their UI, which why not?
Yeah. Now that consoles are becoming more like streaming devices as well as, game
Entertainment
devices.
systems.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't see why not add it to as many things as you want.
I wonder if Xbox gets a 30% of cut of any transactions that take place on the app in the Xbox store.
That would
Because
be so fantastic.
because that not Microsoft, that Apple is taking that 30% cut of anything on their system from Xbox.
I hope that they have a deal cut like that.
Good. Additionally, LA Comic-Con, it's happening, folks, in December. Why it's happening?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I mean, LA is one of the worst areas in general for COVID.
And you're
And
telling me we're gonna have a convention?
no, it just doesn't seem like a logical decision, especially you know what goes on at the conventions. Hygiene is not a thing. I love the people dressed up as deodorant or as like oh god, who's the guy from Apex that was the toxic?
Oh, Caustic.
Caustic. People were dressing up as Caustic and dispersing deodorant. Hilarious.
That's so good. So good.
It should not
I'm
be a problem, people.
I don't even know how this got the okay to proceed either. Like LA is still for California, we have this weird color tiered system. So purple is the worst. Purple is bad. And I'm pretty sure LA is still in the purple phase, while most other people have moved into the red phase. We're in the red phase in Orange County. So they're allowing things to, open up. Like you can go and sit in restaurants again and, work out at the gym or go get your haircut. Can't do that in LA. So like, I don't know. Even if it is in the red phase, that's still a convention. If they
they're
want
not allowing.
50,000 people. The football stadiums are doing like 10,000 people for a 50,000 person stadium.
It's just, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, I get that money is involved, but how many people are gonna go? Probably, I don't know.
I don't
Do you
know
think they're
either.
gonna sell out?
I can't. You're gonna have to wear a mask the whole time. You can't tell me that cosplayers are gonna want to be wearing a mask the entire time. I don't see cosplayers going.
And the thing is, for LA Comic Con, you have to like block off streets and parking, and there's like a whole ordeal. You have to have employees that will work this event that are being, it's their job, so they have to go. Interesting.
It is interesting. What's also interesting is this Xbox Game Bar. So it's like an app, I guess, for lack of a better word, / extension that you can get
Like
from the
a widget.
Microsoft. Yeah. And you get it from the Microsoft store. So you press Windows key G and it pulls up like this, and it can pull it up while you're in game so you don't have to exit out. But so you can see like Xbox friends and things like that, the social stuff with Xbox. And it works in most games, not even just like the Xbox games, like on Steam and stuff. You could pull this up. But it also can tell you like your CPU usage, your GPU usage, your disk usage, your RAM usage. It's got, some task manager, can show you
I was
what
gonna
tasks
say,
you're
it's
running.
like, it's pretty much a task manager without having to get out of your game.
Which is, that's actually pretty nice.
That's actually decently nice if your game starts to crash or freeze and, you have to get really aggro on it. Alt tab doesn't work, escape doesn't work, so you have to,
Apparently you can get custom widgets for the game bar, so you can integrate things like Spotify into your game bar, so you can open up your game bar and like manage your Spotify or what music you're listening to. Like that's actually like
that's an improvement. That's a quality of life improvement.
That's a good system. So definitely check that out if you're a big PC gamer. That might be we might have to take a check at that.
Yeah.
Additionally, the Avengers has taken a significant nosedive on PC for concurrent player count. It's down to just under 4,000 concurrent players at its max, when it managed at launch to hit over 30,000.
Which wasn't even that much. I mean, Deus Ex Mankind, the game that they stopped, renovating and doing their patches for to do this game, to do Marvel Avengers, they had 52,000 concurrent players, and this one only hit 31 on launch. It's like big oof.
Yeah, especially when they're both like, their goal with like Deus Ex Mankind Divided and like Marvel's Avengers was it to be like an infinite played game, like in multiplayer, just to constantly keep adding stuff and keep people playing. And that obviously didn't happen with Deus Ex, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna happen with Avengers, especially if they've already lost so many of the players. And all of the initial reviews were that the story was great, but then after that, it sucks. The game is just terrible.
I mean, after the beginning of the story, right?
No, I heard most people say playing the whole story was pretty good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I mean, it looks good, because why wouldn't it look good? It's just not a good game, apparently. Same thing over and over again.
If you want to listen, though, our episode with let me see what episode number it was, but we had Dave on from the Geography Arcade, and he is a big fan of that game, and we talked quite a bit about that. So if you want to hear about the game, if you haven't checked it out, that was episode 11. We talked NVIDIA, Avengers, and Tony Hawk with Dave Chaffins from Geography Arcade. So check that out if you want to hear more about that. But Brenna, tell us about these RTX 380 trebles.
So not only on the launch of the RTX 3080, having it kind of be overrun with bots and things like that, so people weren't able to get their hands on it. Now it seems that for some people in certain situations, they are starting to crash. And it's kind of, they're dancing around the real issue as to why. They're saying that the card is unstable and are blaming it on these capacitors. So Nvidia has released drivers that seem to stabilize the card. I don't know. Maybe it's just overpowered in certain ways, and so it's overloading the capacitors, causing things to crash and bring you back to the desktop. So a few people said that when they underclocked the card, it seemed to fix it. But if I buy the new 3000 series graphics card that's supposed to be miles better than anything else, I don't want to underclock it. But
Also, who is overclocking these cards too?
what's the point? Why even? Why? Uh, it runs everything fantastically. There are no games that you could have that this wouldn't be able to run on ultra perfectly fine. You can still get like, 100 what is it, 144, 160 frames per second, frames. I don't understand. So it is having a little bit of a rocky launch, but eh, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, yes, the buying it wasn't the greatest system, but they couldn't really have changed or foreseen that. And this is
Yeah.
just not helping.
Yeah, and they've already got a driver fix out there to kind of help improve this, but at the same time, it's like what is firmware going to fix if this is a hardware issue? Like if you're saying it's the capacitors, like what is the firmware going to do?
My only thing, the only thing I'm thinking is maybe it's trying to reroute power. I don't, maybe to like stifle some of the power going to the capacitors, maybe spread out the timing that it flows through. I put a delay on it. I don't know. I don't know what the drivers are doing.
It sounds like a lot. It sounds like there's a lot of speculation around what's causing this that they can't really seem to nail down an exact reason. At least from what we're reading about it.
But
It
it
just
doesn't seem to be a lot of people. I mean, it's
no.
some people.
It sounds pretty sparse. Like
Yeah. So I don't know that it's everyone. They're kind of hard to find now. I guess there was a bunch of posts on Reddit, but they're kind of hard to find now, and not many more people have been saying that the card has been malfunctioning. And even Nvidia said that if their card is actually, not performing very well, then they will send you a new one, which is really nice of them.
yeah, card swap if yours is busted. Uh, so the Demon Souls remaster is launching with PlayStation 5, and so in addition to just the remaster, they've also added a whole bunch of new items, weapons, and armor that weren't in the original game. Which awesome.
Yeah.
Who is going to say no to additional content that only improves an already great game? So, I have nothing.
That's what you should do when you do it again. If you remaster it, remake it, do an update or whatever, why
Why
not
not?
just add some cool things or build upon the things that people
Especially when you
already
made
loved?
4
I
other
mean,
games after
you
this.
don't give them the copy past.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, why not add in game like items or things like that that were in previous or in the following, unless it's chronological, and then you
add
can't
more.
really do that. But
Uh, we also got a Diablo 4 update this past week, and it's basically they talk about they're overhauling the skills and talent system, and they're gonna, rather than it be more like open based, it's they're redesigning it more into like distinct character builds. So they have this really cool, like it's a work in progress, but like this little tree system, and it's like an actual like drawing of a tree, and it looks super cool, very pretty.
it looks like the roots are almost like
It's
like
blood.
iridium. If you ever played, um, I know that it's blood, but
Yes.
it glows. If you played Inquisition, it looks like iridium.
So they're kind of working on rebalancing that and updating that. So, again, it's still Diablo is still actively in development. We don't really know anything else about it, and we have no real release date. So it's cool. that they're posting some stuff about it, but at the same time, it's like, when's it coming? Um,
We know what's
so-
coming next.
oh yeah, baby, I'm ready
Valhalla.
to ride into the gates of
Oh my God.
Valhalla. They dropped us a new story trailer which had a lot of tidbits about the game.
Yeah, it mostly just followed Ivor, or they say his name differently.
Ivor.
It's almost no, it's not like I, it's like a D almost. It's interesting. Watch the video, but it really just follows him around and I don't know, it kind of shows all sides of
Yeah,
him. It shows them relaxing and being very compassionate and then also being, partying and kicking some
but it shows like his
major
family
ass.
in it. It shows that he has a brother, or he or she, depending on whichever one. You have a brother, and so it seems like the brother is the main like driver for the story. It seems like the brother's the one that gives you the hidden blade that brings it. What looked like brought an assassin to Norway.
Yeah, he comes. Yeah, it seems like he comes home from a trip and he has somehow met the assassins and have brought them
And it
back to
seems like his
Norway.
brother Sigurd is the one that kind of pushes all of them to go to England, and kind of stake their claim there, maybe do some good old assassin work.
Right? And they showed it seems like two factions that are going to be a part of uh,
Mm.
England. So you have like what you would think of like fancy English type
Yeah,
royals, and then you
Wessex,
have
Kingdom of
some like,
Wessex.
yeah, and then you have these almost like mythic, like cannibalistic looking barbarians, which is kind of interesting. The name sounds almost Slavic.
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to see if they say which one are there, but they also mentioned the Sons of Ragnar. Have their own stake on there, and there's three of them: Ivar, Uba, and Hoften. So you're definitely going to encounter them. But yeah, they did mention another kind of group that's fighting around. But I'm not seeing it here. It looks interesting. It looks good. I really just can't wait to get our hands on this. And on top of that, we get the fancy collector's edition to unbox. I'm so excited.
I have to rebuy it though because I'm gonna have the steelbook for PlayStation.
So worth it though.
It really is.
Those steelbooks are the best. Additionally, this past week, that was also kind of a bit of big news, was CD Projekt Red announced 6-day work weeks from now until the game's release. It just sounds like they're just going into full overdrive, just final tuning of the game, polishing it up. It's kind of basically what they've been doing already, kind of off and on, but the people are going to be paid. It's not great, it's not ideal, obviously, but and it's definitely, crunch is definitely a huge problem in the gaming industry. But working extra is, that's just working in general. Like every industry has their busy times where they require employees to work extra hours. At least they're getting paid for the extra hours, because a lot of industries, they'll just be like, hey, work 80, 90 hours, you're going to get paid the same as if you worked 40. But if you don't, we're going to fire you.
Yeah.
So it's, I
And
can see both sides.
yeah, and I'm sure the developers already are used to this. As someone that's coding or in this sort of field, you're used to working 12, 15-hour days. And so I know that CD Projekt Red has a lot of like heart into this game. They put a lot of lore and a lot of care into it. So hopefully this is going to translate over and all their hard work. It can't not. It can't not.
Yeah, and hopefully they can work, better in the future to manage their time. Obviously, COVID kind of messed everything up, but additionally, Warner Brothers commented on J.K. Rowling, and it's we're not going to get too into it because we could talk about it forever. But basically, the bottom line is, unfortunately, J.K. Rowling is entitled to her views, but they're not the views of us, and they're not the views of the company. We're just trying to bring her world, a new part of her world to life to its fans, not even her fans, to its fans.
I don't even know why they were asked about J.K. Rowling and her transphobic ideas.
The moment they announced the game, people were like, don't buy this game because it supports J.K. Rowling, and J.K. Rowling is a transphobe. So it's been trending constantly since they announced the game, and people just can't seem to separate the two.
Yeah, it's hard. Because in one way, I can see not wanting to support a company or a product because of ideals, but this is just so far removed from her that
Yes, she'll get some money from it, but
they pay for the
it's
royalty for the licensing
yeah,
on it, and that's it.
she's getting tons of royalties anyway already. Like, it's not like Harry Potter is going anywhere.
Yeah, honestly, the royalties from replays and from merchandise, you're not going to hurt a thing besides this developing company.
Yeah, so it is what it is. You can condemn J.K. Rowling,
I
but
mean, you can
leave
go
Harry
to the
Potter.
Potter experience. You don't think that they're making an absolute ton
Well, and
of money?
I bet you all these two people that are complaining about it, they're all the people that are buying just absolute tons of Harry Potter stuff all the time, and they don't even think about it. So it's just like it's a moot point. It's also a moot point is Google Stadia, and again, we're not even gonna.
We're not
We're
going to
just
do
gonna
it.
as is.
Rise above.
The new Chromecast will not support Google Stadia at launch. It will gain support for Google Stadia sometime in the first half. So that's between January and June. No clear date yet of 2021. Just
Friendly reminder that is their own company that will not be supporting them on a new device.
it doesn't make any sense. That's just a terrible decision, obviously. So we're just gonna leave it at that. Facts, unbiased. That's just is what it is. Additionally, they are also releasing a, I guess, updated / remastered version of Spider-Man for PS5. It came out on PS4 in 2018, and so as part of that, they kind of updated how Peter Parker looks to make him look more similar to Tom Holland, but also to make his voice match up more with the
His
voice actor
appearance.
that does
Yeah.
Tom Holland. And people lost it. Like, come on, guys. Like, it's a video game. It's not even like technically.
I know. The thing that annoys me is not only is this just a video game that doesn't have any long-standing series, I could see if you changed the way, I don't know, pick a long series, anything.
You
I can't
change Nathan Drake's face.
Did you read my mind? I was going to
Yes.
say Nathan Drake. Anyways.
I read your mind.
So yeah, if you changed his face for a remastered of like the second, Uncharted, yeah, that would make me a little upset. But this is the first game in the series, and quite frankly, it makes him actually look like a teenager.
He looks so much better than he did before. Like, it's
Yeah.
such an improvement.
He just looks so much younger.
Don't be dumb, people. Stop being stupid. Also, Silent Hill 4 could be remastered, could be coming out on PC soon. It's been leaked that it's shown up on the PEGI website for a M/18 rating for graphic violence. So potentially we might see this soon. Even if it's not remastered, it could just be the base game, but that would be cool. That'd be fun.
I mean, everything is starting. Yeah, everything is starting to come to PC, which is absolutely amazing. I mean, Metal Gear, that just came, a bunch of Metal Gears, Castlevania.
PC Master Race.
Right.
James Bond has also unfortunately delayed from November of this year to April of next year. They've just made the decision that they want fans to be able to enjoy a theatrical experience, and they just don't view them fulfilling that goal with everything that's going on right now, which totally get it, totally understand. So we'll just have to wait a little bit longer for the final Daniel Craig James Bond. There will still be more James Bond, but just not with him. I'm so tired about talking about Ubisoft. Like, they're so messed up. They did an internal survey just to kind of see how bad their problem was. And it turns out to be pretty bad, to the point where 25% of their respondents indicated that they witnessed or experienced some sort of misconduct firsthand. Women were 30% more likely than men. Non-binary employees were 43% more likely. So that doesn't really bode well for them, especially when they have goals to make their company at least 24%, women.
women.
And
Yeah, on
yeah,
teams. And even worse, the people that did try and go to HR or get some sort of resolve from this, only 66% of respondents said that they felt like they had received support that they needed.
Ubisoft needs a complete overhaul, and that starts from the top. I think it really honestly needs to start with, Yves and all of his brothers stepping down. I think you need a fresh brand new management to take over, because it clearly you did poorly. So how can we have any faith that you're going to fix it?
Right. And then with the whole trying to depict Black Lives as a terrorist group in that upcoming game, or in the, God, what was it?
A mobile game, yeah, Elite
Yeah.
Squad.
Good Lord. It's just not looking good.
No, they're missing the mark. But Minecraft got a big old update coming next year. Cliffs and Caves. Why it's a whole year away, I don't know.
Honestly, 1.16 came out not too long ago, the Nether update, so I could see
That's
them.
fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
it just came out, and so 1.17, this Cliffs one, gonna be so good. It's gonna rework all of caves. You're gonna have like more waterfalls inside of caves. It's gonna be so beautiful. You have new mobs. Oh, tell us what.
Archaeology system, new blocks, new mobs, the Warden and the Oxytol. They're also updating all the cliffs, because it's just not very smooth. But they'll add better mountains, mountain goats.
Ibex. They're ibexes.
It's a great update. Update. And it's great to see that Minecraft continues to keep updating.
Right. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be great for survival, just base game. And they just did the Nether, so not everyone goes to the Nether. So it's nice that they did something for just survival, or maybe even creative mode. And I think they add these glowing jellyfish or octopus. I can't remember. And so those are going to be ominous. Apparently, they're going to rework a little bit of the water life. I would also like to see a rework of the end, because there's really nothing to do now that the Nether is completely reworked and has biomes and things. The end would be a cool place as well.
And that would be good. That would be very good. Maybe add like more planes or something like that.
Something.
That'd be cool.
I know there's a few mods that'll do it, but
oh yeah, mods are the best. But once you start using mods, you can never go back to vanilla Minecraft. Additionally, Starbreeze and Overkill both wanted to reassure players this past week that Payday 3 is still coming. It's confirmed. It's in the design phase. It's using Unreal Engine. It's still in the works, despite Starbreeze, the publisher's major financial and legal issues that they've had recently. They're still working on it. After 7 years, Payday 2 is also still receiving support and content. So, I would love to see a Payday 3. Not gonna lie, that would be a ton of fun. I feel like we would have a blast playing that.
oh, I would dress up.
The boys and I used to play a lot of Payday 2. It was a lot of fun.
Robbing banks, having fun.
Oh yeah. Just boy things. Upcoming game release dates. Last week we had Warzone Season 6, Feather, Hazmat Hijinks, Total Meltdown, Star Wars Squadrons, and Crash Bandicoot 4. I totally forgot about Crash Bandicoot. Didn't even talk about that. And then this coming week, we got Baldur's Gate 3, Overcrowded, a Commute 'em Up, and FIFA 21. No one cares about FIFA.
Seriously.
I also, the Minecraft Steve, he's the next fighter for Super Smash Brothers.
Oh my God. And it's hilarious too. I think one of the actions, he can like sleep in a bed.
So great.
I don't know, I probably should have looked more into this, but there was a thing with him and Kirby, and every time Kirby tried to attack, he would just get into a bed. and then Kirby ate him, and Kirby turned into a block.
That's fantastic. You know,
Oh
what'd be
my
great is if an enemy was right next to you and you try to get in the bed and it's like you can't sleep, monsters are nearby.
That would be so good. But yeah, Steve is in Smash, which is I'm curious to see what the
It's
abilities
coming. Yeah, it'll be interesting. So as we mentioned before, we're working on some changes. We're updating some content, so keep in mind with that. The YouTube is getting some videos. We have hopefully next week we will start posting our first Let's Plays on YouTube. They're going to be coming pretty slow, but that's just because we want to make sure we get high quality videos, and we have a good friend of ours doing the editing. So shout out to him. And additionally, shout out to all you awesome guys out there. And one awesome fan, Luke from Australia, sent us a little bit of fan mail to our email, which was, that made my morning. That was super exciting to open up that and see. So, thank you, Luke, for the suggestions and the feedback. Really do appreciate it. We can listen to the show dozens of times when we edit it. We can listen to it after the fact when we post it, and we still don't pick up on some things just because of how into it, I guess we are. We're in the weeds basically. So thank you, and I appreciate that. And he also said that he really enjoys the feedback, loves what we have to say on the topics, the format, and he says it's like a chill sesh chatting with old friends. So it's great. That's what we're going for. We're a family here. The
one
goose
demented family.
down straight. I'm okay with cussing that time. So thank you, Luke. We really appreciate that. So you guys are also welcome to, drop us an email. We got a contact form on the website. Shoot us a message. Leave a review. Heck, there's a link in the episode. You can even leave us a voice message, and we'll play it on the air.
Oh no, I feel like there are too many of our viewers that are going to abuse this function.
Oh yeah. And to those of you that go the extra mile to support us on Patreon, Dr. Brantroid, Durka, Poolfire93, Miller, Cyber Shorty, Old Stray Dog, and our newest Patreon, T Nugget. Thank you.
The name T Nugget. Absolutely love it.
Thank you very much. So that's going to do it for this week. You can find us on any podcast streaming platform, and you can find us on the social medias. We're on Twitter and Facebook at DL Gaming News, and we're on Instagram at GooseCatProd, and you can follow us individually on Instagram at DL_Jameson.
And me at DL_Mother Goose.
And that's all we have for you guys.
Yay.
Good luck, have fun, everybody.
And remember, keep your goose loose.
My name is Brian Burton. It's been 26 years since the bombs fell. And since I've left the vault, I've been trying to rebuild. But this isn't the Appalachia that I remember. There's so much more to everything going on. And I promise to find the answer. So if you're out there, if you're listening, just hone in on these coordinates. Remember, there's a place for you at the end. Omega.
The Omega Broadcast Fallout Story is available on iTunes, Spotify, and many great podcasting sources.
Have you ever wondered how deep the Elder Scrolls lore rabbit hole goes? Have you got a grasp of the basics and want to find out more about the universe? Written in Uncertainty is here to help you. We'll be mixing in philosophy, theology, and whatever other theory is useful with Elder Scrolls texts to untangle some of the biggest questions in the series, like what are dragon breaks, how does Chim work, where did the Dwemer go, and more. Check us out at writteninuncertainty.com or find Written in Uncertainty on any podcatcher. Thanks for listening, and catch you later in the grey maybe of Tamriel.